Gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Vaughn Radio.
That's right, folks. This is Vaughn Radio, and it's time for Liftoff. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's go.
Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff.
Come on, baby, baby. Come on, baby, baby. Show with no name. Here we go. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. On Vaughn Radio. Let's go. All right, let's go, amigos. Come on. Show with no name. That's right, amigos. Welcome to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio, where we are rocking and rolling as always. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show, folks. Welcome to this English extravaganza called The Show with No Name. We're going to learn so much today. We're going to play. We're going to have some fun, as we always do. All right. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the show with no name. I'm your host, Alberto Alonso, your teacher, your friend, your confidant, your cheerleader. Welcome, amigos. I hope you're ready to participate and to learn some English and have some fun along with me and your fellow show with no namers. Welcome. It's time for today's pop quiz. Come on. Let's go.
Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Uh-huh.
Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Pop quiz. Yeah. That's right, folks. It's our pop quiz. Only on the show with no name. And since the summer is here, I keep telling you guys we're looking at all kinds of modes of transportation. And why not? Some of you will be flying up in the sky on a plane. Others will be taking trains. Some of you will be taking road trips. But however you get to where you're going, make sure you get there safe and sound. Safe and sound. And folks, today's pop quiz is coming straight out of my first book. I think you know what it's called. English Everywhere. All right. We're going to go to chapter 26. If you have the book, you can follow along. Chapter 26 of English Everywhere, my first book where it all began. All right, let's warm up with a couple over here. Vamos a ir calentando motores. All right? The first one, ¿me llevas al banco? Can I get a ride or a lift to the bank? Can I get a ride or a lift to the bank? This is just to warm up a little bit, my amigos. You don't have to give me these, okay? How would we say písalo? Si no, llegaremos tarde. Písalo fuerte. Step on it, or else, ese si no, or else we'll be late. Step on it. Put the pedal to the metal, or else we'll be late. What about this one? El concesionario está en la próxima manzana. Concesionario. Dealership. That's right. The dealership is on the next block. And the next block is la próxima manzana. All right, another one. Pon el intermitente antes de cambiar de carril. Pon el intermitente antes de cambiar de carril. Put on your blinker before changing lanes. Or before you change lanes. So your blinker, why? Because it blinks. All right. So now that we're warmed up here for our car trip, our road trip, which remember, my wife and I did an amazing road trip. It was for our honeymoon, and we went down the Mississippi River. We started out in Chicago, went on down to Memphis, Tennessee, and then we kept on going until we hit Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. That was an awesome trip. One of my best car trips ever. And I'll tell you something. I've done Route 66, the famous Route 66. There's an FYI episode on it, in fact. But I prefer Highway 61, like the Bob Dylan album. It's the blues highway. Anybody who loves rock and roll or the blues, Elvis, all of that stuff, B.B. King, you gotta go down Route 61. All right, so here's your translation. Now that we've revved our engines. Tuve que parar en el arcén porque oí un ruido raro en el motor. Okay? So, tuve que meterme o pararme en el arcén porque oí un ruido raro en el motor. That is your pop quiz. I've warmed you up a little bit there. This is straight out of my first book, English Everywhere. This is chapter 26. It's page 110. All right. Let's see if you guys know it. Let's see if you're familiar with this useful vocabulary. Most of you have a car, I imagine. So let's see what you know. Let's check out our virtual classroom over here. We've got Born to Iron Man joining us. What's up, Born to Iron Man? Welcome aboard. We've got Vero in the house. Vero says, morning, beautiful show with no-namers, warriors around the universe. I want to send a shout out to our dear Guy Williams and wish him a happy retirement. Yeah, you will be missed. Guy Williams, he will be missed on the waves. Yeah, he's been on Vaughn Radio since the beginning, and I've known for a while. Obviously, we have our Vaughn Radio WhatsApp group, and I've known for a while, to be honest, but I didn't want to tell anything to anybody because it's not my position to do that. I wanted you guys to hear it from him, straight from the horse's mouth, como decimos, desde la fuente, directamente. Yes, Guy Williams. So a part of me is going to miss him, and a part of me is envious. Yeah, who doesn't want to retire? I mean, I love what I do, but I'd love to retire, but he deserves it. Guy Williams. Let's see. Kubla says, what's new, cute cohorts? Let's prove we're full-fledged show with no namers with bells on and make the grade no matter what. It's a little bit, okay, it's good, Kubla, a little bit forced. I like that you're using a lot of idiomatic expressions, but don't go overboard. No te pases, because then it's like forced, okay? But it's good. It's good vocabulary. So let's prove we're full-fledged, a tope. Show with no namers with bells on, con muchas ganas, and make the grade, dar la talla, pase lo que pase. So there we go. Yeah. Let's see, Laura. Laura says, good morning, precious show with no namers. Let's learn and have fun together. I'm on board. All right. I see, speaking of being on board, is everybody in our car right now for our road trip? You got to give me the translation. Let's see. Kubla says, I had to pull over because I heard a weird noise coming from the engine. That's right. I had to pull over because I heard a weird noise coming from the engine. Great job. Let's see, Laura. I had to pull over because I heard a strange noise coming from the engine. That works too. Excellent job. Strange, weird. Leo, I had to pull over because I heard a strange noise coming from the engine. Yeah. Chris Valrol. She says, I had to pull over because I heard an odd noise coming from the engine. Morning, awesome people. Wow. Guys, it's magic. You gave me 3 synonyms. So 3 different students gave me 3 different ways to say strange, weird, odd. Excellent, guys. I'm impressed. Let's see. Who else? We've got my dad joining us. What's up, Don Diego Alonso? Welcome aboard. Great to have you with us here on the show with no name. We're looking at some stuff from English Everywhere, my first book. All right, let's see. What other lessons can we get? Ooh, we've got a false friend over here. Careful with this one. Dirección versus sentido. So your dirección is your address, and sentido is direction. It's one of those false friends. Careful with those false friends. Yeah. All right, folks. And remember, when we're talking about cars, the British and the Americans, well, we don't really agree on anything. I mean, on absolutely anything. All right. So let's see. Let me, terms. Let's go through some of them right now. We might as well. All right. Here we go. The first one, tire. Tire. Well, that in British English is spelt with a Y. With a Y, right? Tire. In American English, it's spelt with an I. So that really doesn't affect the pronunciation. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys, we're going to make it a game. This is our pop quiz, right? Okay, good. So I'm going to give you the American word, and you're going to give me the British word. Now, I don't want you to just write the word. I want you to put it's lo que sea. All right? The first word is hood, que significa capucha, pero también es capó, which I used to confuse with chapo. Oh, 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 oh. Chapo por el capó. All right. So how do you say el capó, the hood, in British English? Kubla, you got it. It's bonnet. Muy bien. Bonnet. Con dos N's. Okay. In American English, we put our suitcases and all that jazz in the trunk. El maletero. También es un baúl, esta palabra en inglés. Y también es lo que tiene un elefante. So, how would the British say this? Ponlo en el maletero. Again, in the United States, we say trunk. Kubla, nice job. It's boot. The boot. The next one. In American English, we have a windshield to protect us against the wind and the bugs and, flying objects. It's called a windshield in American English. Windshield. I mean, it's a very logical name, isn't it? And Kubla, you got it. It's windscreen. Good. Chris Valrol has given us an example in context. My car's boot is full. Excellent. All right, the next one. Again, I told you, we don't agree on anything. How do you say, vamos a ponerlo esta en una traducción, me quedé sin petróleo, sin gasolina? We would say gas. So, I won't give you the structure. A ver si te la sabes. Me quedé sin petróleo, combustible. We say gas. They don't. There it is, Kubla. I ran out of petrol. They call it a petrol station, and we call it a gas station. All right, another one. The next one is, I already gave you that one. Tire. What about this one? Stick shift. Do you drive stick shift? So stick is el palo and shift is cambiar de marcha. But the British say it more like the Spanish. Stick shift. Do you drive, or you can just say, do you drive stick? Eso es manual en español. Do you drive stick? Anybody? Manual. Esa era muy fácil. That was a really easy one. All right, another one for you. This one, it's a tough one. But I think if we go through them, then you'll know them all. The next one is, in the United States, we say step on the gas pedal. To step on the pedal. De ahí put the pedal to the metal. Okay? In England, they call it, see, England is more similar to Spanish when it comes to cars. They say step on the accelerator. Acelerador. We say the gas pedal. And then you've got the brake. So you got the brake pedal and the gas. And if you drive stick, then you have a clutch. Un embrague. A clutch. All right? If you drive stick or manual, as the British say. Another one. The Americans say, I was driving on the highway. I was driving on the highway. You probably know this one from a song. Highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. Well, if that were a British song, they are Australian, so I guess that counts. It would be motorway to hell. The motorway to hell. So as you can see, we don't agree on very much when it comes to cars. Oh, another one. Lorry. He was driving a lorry. I'll never forget the first time I heard that, because in the United States, lorry is a woman's name. He was driving a lorry. In the United States, we say, he was driving a truck. I see Laura and Chris and Kubla participating. Great job. Here's another one. This is more of a little nuance, okay? They say a driving license, and we say a driver's license. So driving license versus driver's license. Otra que tiene que ver con with pedestrians and driving, pedestrians, peatones. In the United States, la acera is a very logical word. The sidewalk. Literalmente. La parte lateral donde andas. The sidewalk. La acera. So I'll give it to you in context. Paris has a lot of sidewalk cafes. Cafeterías, bares que están en la acera. Well, the British don't call it the sidewalk. They call it the pavement. Nice job, Chris. The pavement was wet. The pavement was wet, she says. Whereas in the United States, we would say the sidewalk was wet. Ojo, no me pronuncies la L, por favor. No sidewalk, sidewalk. And there are many more, but I'll give you one more. In the United States, if you're going to park your car, you can park it in a parking garage. You can park it in a parking space or a parking spot. Eso es uno suelto. Or you can park it in a parking lot. Uno abierto. So a parking garage es evidente. So how would the British say, aparqué el coche en un parking? And you'll see in this chapter of English Everywhere, we look at the difference, because in Spanish, you use the word parking as a noun. And we don't. We don't say, I'm going to a parking. We use it as a verb, or as, we use it as a noun como parque, but not a parking garage or a parking lot. And the British would say, oh yeah, Chris Valrol. There is a car park downstairs. There's a car park downstairs. Oh man, you guys, awesome job. We looked at a lot of vocabulary, but right now we have to go to our first commercial break. We'll be right back, my amigos. We've got so much to do here on today's show. When we come back, we are gonna play. We are gonna have some fun. as we always do. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. It's the Say What soundbite. That's right, amigos. Say What soundbite. This is where We listen to a famous person speaking, and hopefully you guys will be able to figure out what this person is talking about. All right, is everybody ready? Everybody grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and get ready to jot this down. I think this one's going to be pretty easy. I could be wrong. Is everybody ready? Here we go.
Dr. Krakauer? Hi, yes. Thanks for calling me back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. That's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue, right. Okay. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your Say What soundbite for the first time. We'll see if anybody can figure it out. I'm going to say at least 5 or 6 of you are going to get it today. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong here, but I'm going to go with 5 or 6 of my students are going to really nail this. Lo vais a clavar. All right, now let me give it to you a second time, and then we can discuss it. Lo discutimos un poco.
Dr. Krakauer? Hi, yes. Thanks for calling me back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. That's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue, right. Okay. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right, amigos, I'm going to give you a minute or two to think it over. In the meantime, let's kick off our Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's our Spelling Bee only on the show with no name. And as always, I am going to spell 6 things for you today. And hopefully you guys will be able to figure out these 6 things over here. And, well, I think it's going to be easy today. We've had some really difficult ones. And I can tell you this. I'm really, really excited about today's topic. Because as you guys know, all of our spelling bees have a common thread. So we're going to Brazil, or we're going, we're looking at foot and tragic accidents. There's always some kind of common thread. All right. And I'm excited about today's. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see what you guys had to say over here in our Say What soundbite before I give you the first round of our spelling bee. Kubla says, I heard an American female making a doctor's appointment after she was called back. Great. Short and sweet. Cortito y al grano, como Dios manda. Short and sweet, but you got all the information, the gist of it. I heard an American female making a doctor's appointment after she was called back. So le estaban devolviendo la llamada. Also, I'm curious today if you can figure out what part of the United States this person is from, because her accent is very specific. Very, very specific. So we'll see if you guys are able to figure out where that accent is from as well. You're right, Kubla. It's the United States, but I want to go deeper. I want to get just a little more specific there. All right. Anybody else? Just Kubla? I'll give you another 30 seconds or so. In fact, in the meantime, I can tell you a little bit about this book is the shit.
Alberto, viene Tom Cruise al hormiguero y tengo que decirle una cosa. Tengo que decirle, vamos al lío. ¿Cómo se lo digo?
Vamos al lío. Facilísimo. Piensa en la canción de DJ Tiesto. Let's get down
to business.
Give me
One more night together.
Let's get down.
Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Ah, lo sabía, pero no sabía que lo sabía. Aprende inglés con canciones, películas, videojuegos, series, personajes, onomatopeyas. Todas las cosas que te rodean están en inglés, pero no te das cuenta de que ya las tienes en la cabeza. Solamente hay que colocarlas. Y para eso, utiliza nuestro tercer libro, This Book is the Shit, por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Oh, yeah. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available wherever fine books are sold. All right, we've got some more comments over here. Let's see what you guys had to say. Anix, what's up? Anix, great to read your name and great to have you on board with us. And she says, there are two female voices. They sound like Americans. It's a phone call, and I didn't catch a word. Good morning, by the way. Good morning, and you know what? You're on track. And you expressed yourself perfectly. I didn't catch a word. Es muy nativo. Great job, Anix, and welcome aboard. Leo says, a lady driving, que está conduciendo, receives confirmation of an appointment with the doctor by phone, who is given the street, la calle. It seems that it is at that moment because she is in a hurry. How lucky she is these days. I don't know about that. I don't get that second part, Leo. But yeah. Great. Laura says, I heard the voice of an American lady making an appointment with a doctor after having been referred by another doctor. Laura, that's perfect. Como decimos en inglés, I couldn't have said it better myself. No lo podría haber dicho mejor yo mismo. All right, well, it's time to move on to our spelling bee, but great job to all of you. Oh, hang on. I don't want to leave out our amiga Cris Valrol. She says, I think I heard an American woman talking on the phone. She was waiting for that or expecting it. Esperaba la llamada. Making a doc's appointment. Excellent job, Cris Valrol, and all of you. All right. This is round one of today's spelling bee. Let me get prepared here. I'm going to take a sip of water. You guys aren't the only ones who have to prepare. Here we go. Ready? The first one. These must be capitalized. Hay que ponerlos con mayúsculas. Okay, they're proper nouns. The first one, I'm going full speed here. The first one is BEALE space ST period. The second one is CIVIL space RIGHTS space MUSEUM. The third one is STAX space SOUL. The fourth one, SUN space STUDIO. The fifth one is PEABODY space DUCKS. And the last one is GRACELAND. Whoa. Good luck. Good luck, amigos. Hopefully you guys were able to figure it out. If not, you will get a second round over here. Let's see. Going once, going twice. Well, in the meantime, you want to say goodbye to Guy Williams? Tonight's the night. Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, hosted by Guy Williams. Join him to say goodbye. Richard's going to be there. Kyle, Rob, Andy, all of us are going to be there to support our amigo, Guy Williams. Tonight, para españoles es this afternoon. Me encanta que llamáis afternoon las 8 de la tarde. That's evening, guys, evening. Afternoon is when you're working. Evening is your time. That's the best way to describe it in American English. And night is when you go to bed. So that's kind of like, when you're, because I remember it's still something that when people say to me, buenos dias at 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Excuse me. Pardon my French. All right. Going once, going twice. It seems like nobody got the spelling bee. Oh, this is interesting. Usually you guys get it. Somebody gets it. Born to Iron Man. I don't want to mention any names, but I just did. Kubla usually, too, is right there with him. But today, either you guys are being censored, I went too fast. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Chris Valrol is usually right there with them as well. And right now, I've got Chris participating. Let's see, Chris. I think you've got it here. It looks about right at first glance, a primera mirada, a primera vista. The first one is correct, Chris. The second one is correct. The third one's correct. The fourth one's correct. The fifth one's correct. And the sixth one is also correct. Chris Valrol. Unbelievable, Chris. That was excellent. Just as I said, Born to Iron Man, Kubla, I'm thinking, tengo que incluir a Chris ahí. And then your name popped up. So call it fate, call it serendipity. You got it, Chris. And if you guys haven't figured it out, these are some of the coolest sights in Memphis, Tennessee. That's right. We're going to Memphis today. So everybody pack your bags, or we can take a road trip. But you know me, I love to fly. And don't forget, if you want to brush up on this vocabulary, last week we had an airport episode of FYI. And this week we have a very special guest on the podcast, my wife. I finally talked her into it, and she's joining us to talk about social media. She's going to teach us a lot, and I think you guys are going to be really impressed with her English. Speaking of impressive, again, Chris. Excellent job. All right. This is round 2. We're going to Memphis, and we're going to see the sights. The first place we have to visit is BEALE space ST period. The second one is CIVIL space RIGHTS space MUSEUM. The third one is STAX space SOUL. The fourth one is SUN space STUDIO. The fifth one is PEABODY space DUCKS. And the last one is GRACE space LAND. And as I said, we are going to Memphis. I'm going to take you guys there today on the show. And I took you there too, if you have my book, English on the Go.
Alberto, do you know what time it is?
It's beer o'clock.
Yes, sir, it is. It is indeed.
I like how you use the indirect question. Bravo, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Alberto. Yeah, it's very, in fact, do you use it very often, or is better to use the direct one?
Do you want to be polite or impolite?
Well, sometimes I want to be polite, of course.
Well, especially if you're asking somebody for something, you want to be polite. So solemos usar, yo nunca me acercaría. I would never go up to somebody and say, what time is it? Where's the subway?
Yeah.
I would say, do you know what time it is? Y cambia. Lo que pasa, la indirecta coge la misma estructura que la afirmación. Do you know what time it is? It is 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
O sea, su respuesta va a ser la misma estructura.
Yeah.
Do you know where the metro is? The metro is 2 blocks away. Y podemos poner, do you know? I have no idea, porque ahí no es pregunta. I have no idea where the metro is. Deja de ser pregunta. So it's always better to be more polite, especially when we're in a city where we don't know people and we're asking for directions or information.
Okay, now ask me for a direction, but in the most polite way you can, please.
Pardon me, sir. Would you mind telling me where the closest library is?
Beautiful. What about this one? Excuse me, sir. You wouldn't happen to know where the metro station is, would you?
That's excellent. Y has usado question tags. Damián, are you showing off? ¿Estás presumiendo? But you should show off. Ojo, yo le digo a mis alumnos, show off your
Show off.
English.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Always, especially if you're drunk. That's the right moment to do it.
What about that age-old myth, milenario, that age-old myth, and that says, oh, I speak English better after a few beers?
Yeah.
No, you lose
no.
your inhibitions and you lose your fear of speaking, but it doesn't mean you speak better.
Yeah, but it's a very important thing to do, to forget about shyness.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it because it will never help you. If you make mistakes, you listen to me. I'm always making mistakes, even recording with Alberto, and I shouldn't, but still, just do them.
Damián, I make mistakes in English. Why?
No way.
Well, I don't mean grammar mistakes. I get tongue-tied. I'm speaking quickly. My mind is going in. You know it in Spanish.
Yeah.
¿Que dices todo perfecto cuando hablas español?
I don't.
¿Te sale cada frase como has querido?
No,
Has dicho,
never.
eso ha sonado de culo.
I wish.
Pues nos pasa a todos, a lo que digo. Ahora, si no vas corrigiendo los errores que cometí, that's when I start to get upset.
Yeah.
But making mistakes is part of the process. English is a breeze. But I think, you don't have to drink alcohol to speak English, to
Yeah.
loosen up.
Okay, Breeze, let's talk about it because there is this drink, Breezer.
Yeah, breezers. What are they? They're like wine coolers, right?
Kind of, yeah.
It's like this carbonated, fruity. You get really drunk. It's like rebujito. You have a couple and you're like, whoa, what just happened?
It's like just a drink because it's already mixed up.
Yeah, sure. We call them a lot of these. They're very popular, much more in the United States than in Spain. These wine coolers, these breezers, and it's just like alcohol mixed with very fruity stuff, and it goes down real easy in the summer.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the pronunciation of breezer because that Z is complicated for us.
Yeah, zzz.
Yeah.
I always tell my daughter when we're looking at these words, because we pronounce words, la abeja. Zzz.
Yeah.
So, y hasta palabras que no tienen Z suenan así. Fácil.
Easy.
Fácilmente.
Easily.
Muy bien. Facilidad.
Ease.
Muy bien.
Ease. Complicated.
It's not complicated. I tell my students, once you can make the sound once, you can make it a million times. It's a breeze, que significa pan comido.
Okay. What about Bloody Mary? Because again, blood. Why is it blood and not blood? Blood.
Well, it's blood. That's how we pronounce it, like flood, inundación. So, and the verb, do you know the verb?
To blood?
To bleed.
To bleed, exactly.
Is bleed, bled, bled.
Yeah.
And the British love this word because they say bloody like maldito.
Yeah.
Mate, he's a bloody bastard.
Bloody hell.
But hey, I always tell people it's one of the greatest places to mingle, mezclar, con nativos. In Madrid, we're very lucky. There are tons of Irish pubs, and they are full of, where do you think the guiris go when they come to Madrid to watch the footy on the telly?
And the footy on the telly. Crazy.
They go down to the local pub for a couple of pints of lager, mate.
you nail it, huh?
Bueno, esto de hablar idiomas va de imitar. Quiero que intentéis siempre imitar lo que oís.
Okay, the last one. We would say in Spanish, Mountain Dew. But how do you pronounce it?
Lo has dicho demasiado bien. Mountain.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Dew suena como hacer, que es rocío.
El rocío de la mañana.
Mountain Dew, right. But also, it was this illegal liquor. También Mountain Dew era moonshine. Este licor que se hacía en mis tiempos. Ahora no, ahora es el refresco. Pero en aquel entonces, Mountain Dew was like moonshine.
Como el
Es
brillo de
un-
la luna.
No, lo llaman
Como
licor casero.
Sí, como el licor café de Galicia.
You know those ones. Stay away from the Mountain Dew in general.
Nice. That's a nice thing to know.
All right. Well, if you were paying attention, you'll notice that was not from English on the Go Memphis. Nope. No, it wasn't. That was from This Book is the Milk 2. And remember, you can get audios with This Book is the Milk and This Book is the Milk 2. If you guys are on Amazon Audible, you can pick them up. But all our materials come with audio. So go to the Von Tienda. Even if you don't get my books, who cares? Get some books, whatever ones you need if you're English. What do you need help with? Phrasal verbs? Maybe pronunciation is your issue. Or maybe you just need to go over the building blocks of grammar. And remember, all our materials go hand in hand with our shows. That's right. So check it out. It's vontienda.com. Also, you've got Grupo Von if you want information about courses. And also, ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Kubla. Excellent job. Kubla got the Say What soundbite after 2 listens. Oh, no, wait. The name of the avenue is wrong. So, if somebody gets the name of the avenue right, then technically you're the winner. But excellent effort nonetheless. But that's important information, though. Si me das la dirección, if you give me the wrong address, we are in trouble. Also, a nice round of applause for Laura. She has joined Chris Valrol in the winner's circle in our spelling bee. But folks, we'll take a look at our spelling bee when we come back. We really are going to go to Memphis, I promise. I'm going to take you there. I'll take you back. Yeah, the birthplace of rock and roll. Sun Studio in Memphis. Amigos, we'll be right back with much more Show with No Name. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us on the show, learning and laughing. Don't forget, you can start your day with the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. Also, Richard Vaughn Live and Fitz's program, No Excuses. Fitz will drill you. Eso es hacer ejercicios en inglés. You'll work some of the most common structures in the English language. And Fitz is a perfectionist. He doesn't play around. No tontea. You know that. You and I know Fitz is a fun guy. Un tipo divertido. But he means business. Va en serio. And you can tune in and you can learn English with the master himself for 1 hour. And I gotta say something. I was on his show a couple weeks ago. His students are awesome. You can tell. Se nota. You can tell that they have an amazing teacher, and you can tell that they're putting in the time and the effort it takes. So kudos. And you know what? That reminds me of you guys too. Day in, day out, día tras día, making it happen, having fun, learning English. All right, folks, it's time for Homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, folks. That's right. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And let's take a look at what we've got for today's homophones, where we look at tricky words or words that can potentially be tricky in English. The first word I want you to give me, and I want you to give me the two words together, and then I want you to tell me if they sound exactly the same. So the first word is elegance. It's also God's mercy in Christianity. It's also the thing you do before you have food, if you're religious, right? When we bless the food. It's also to honor, to be present. So, honró este escenario Bob Dylan, por ejemplo, o Elvis Presley, yo qué sé, ya que estamos hablando de Memphis, right? It's also adornar. So, it's also a female name. My grandmother's name, my Italian grandmother's name. And as I see, it's got tons of different meanings. There, but for the of God. Si no fuera por la gracia de Dios. So it's a biblical word. It's a great word to know, as it's got many meanings. And the second word, well, this is something animals do. What I usually think of is a cow. And how do you say mugir? To moo. That's easy, right? The cow was mooing. Y ordeñar? To milk. Think about it. Makes sense. Lechear. So the second word is when animals eat. You say pastar. But also, it's got another meaning. It could be a double trouble. It's raspar, rasguñar. Okay? Rasguño. All right? So there are your two words. What are the words? And do the words sound exactly the same or not? And also, here's your Say What soundbite for the third time. Let's see if anybody can get the name of that avenue.
Dr. Krakauer? Hi, yes. Thanks for calling me back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. That's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue, right. Okay. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. And Kubla, it's not the name of the avenue. It's weird because it's totally different than the word you're putting. So the rest of it looks great, but like it's like if I say the word orange and you put the word purple. Like I don't get it. It's weird, man. You're gonna flip out when you're gonna what? Are you serious? Yeah. But it's nowhere near the word you have there in both cases. So, wow, it's a tricky one here. All right, let's take a look at our homophones over here. The first one to participate is the lovely Laura. And Laura says the two words are and they don't sound alike. Well, Laura, first things first. How are the machines? ¿Cómo van las máquinas? ¿Cómo están las máquinas? No, first things first. The words are right. So great job. And she says they don't sound alike. Let's see. Kubla says it's and they're not homophones. Okay, that's two super show with no namers agreeing. Chris Valrol agrees as well. So that's like the Holy Trinity over here, right? The Holy Trinity, La Trinidad over here. All right, well, let's say these words, and then you guys tell me. The first word is grace. Say it with me. Grace. There but for the grace of God. It's a disco song. Ay, 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 ay. I know it's a biblical reference as well. But Grace, my grandmother's name was Grace. Okay? And grace is also something a ballerina has, right? Wow, she was so graceful. I always think of Grace Kelly, right? Grace Kelly was graceful. She was full of grace, elegancia, grace. Also, the congregation prayed for God's grace and mercy. Another one, and there's always a joke with this one. In fact, you can see the joke in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And when you want somebody, my mother, Dad, you can attest to this. My mother usually says grace in our family, at family functions and things like that. And to say grace is bendecir la mesa, because it's a kind of prayer. A prayer es una oración, but más específico es la que se dice a comer. So there's a funny scene in the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And they say to the elderly woman, they say grace, okay? It's your turn. They want you to say grace, que bendigas la mesa. And she goes, Grace? She passed away 30 years ago. Dice, Grace, ella falleció hace 30 años. And then her husband goes, the blessing, con esa voz. It's a funny scene over there. So to say grace, also it's excelencia, your grace. It's a little bit pelota. I would say your honor if I was ever in that situation. And also, as I said, Elvis Presley graced this stage, honró este escenario. Y como habéis visto, tiene una D. Es regular, graced, pero suena como una T, graced. Okay? And the second word, which is pastar, raspar, graze. Okay? The cows are starting to graze. The cows are starting to graze. All right, let's put them together. The cows said grace before they started to graze. Again, the cows said grace before they started to graze. They are not homophones. Great job, Laura, Kubla, and Chris. Awesome job. Awesome job. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Ahora sí, you've got the name of the avenue right and everything. She has dotted her I's and crossed her T's. Give it up for Laura. She nailed the Say What soundbite. That's right. She nailed the Say What soundbite. And Chris says, good ear for this Brooklyn accent. Good, Chris. Wow. Impressive. That's right. The person, well, I don't know if it's Brooklyn, but it's the New York area. New Jersey, New York, this kind of area. It's a similar sound. Okay, you can find little nuances. But definitely it's like a Northeast. It's not Boston, not that far up, but it's definitely the New York area. So good job there, Chris. You did a wonderful job over there. Hey, I'm just so you hear it over there. So excellent job. Grace and Grays are not homophones. All right, also, we've got to look at our spelling bee over here. And let's take a look at the spelling bee. We are going to the one and only Memphis, Tennessee. I've been there before. As I said, I take you there in my book, English on the Go, if you want to give it a listen. And why did I choose Memphis? Well, A, why not? Memphis is an amazing place. But also, today, in 1954, I'm going to try and do my Elvis impersonation here. Today, in the year 1954, Elvis Presley recorded his first single. That's all right, mama. That's all right with me. That's all right, mama. Any way you please. And that's all right. That's all right. So, Elvis Presley, Elvis the Pelvis, recorded his first single today in 1954. You could say that was the birth of a superstar of rock and roll. Okay, there were rock and roll songs, but mixing rock and roll, it was the birth of a rock star. Let's put it that way. The idea of a global rock star icon. And something and someone that sounded and looked different. That's what made Elvis amazing. When they first started playing him on the radio, people said, this guy's black. And they said, no, he's not. And they said, yeah, he's black. And they're like, no, like he's here in the studio. He's white. And the owner of Sun Studio, he's, I can't remember his last name now. Sam, his name's Sam. His name was Sam. He saw that potential and he said, what? And it's pretty interesting because I went to Sun Studio. I've been there. We went on my honeymoon in Memphis, Tennessee. And I stood on that spot. En ese lugar donde está la X. I stood on that spot, folks. It was insane. The spot. And you know what happened? What happened was, this is interesting because they tell you the story. If you ever go to Memphis, this is just one of the many things you have to do. But they tell you the story of how Elvis was recording some stuff with a band, which would end up being his band. And Sam wasn't really liking what he heard. He was like, all right, guys, kind of weird. Kind of nothing special there, Nothing really stands out. So then he said, take 5. Vamos a coger 5 minutillos de descanso. Take 5, que es un nombre de un grupo. But the boys kept playing their instruments. And they were just jamming. Improvisando. Boom, 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 boom. And Sam peeked his head out of the studio and said, that is what you need to play. That, not what you were playing, that. And they got it, and he understood the language they were speaking. He goes, that's the sound. That sound. That was rock and roll. And it was, again, what Sam saw was, this is a white guy. I can market him. Remember, those were racist times, especially down in the South. So that's all right. If you ever go to Memphis, there's so much to do, but make sure Sun Studio is high on your list. Because, yeah, I'm telling you about Elvis. But we've also got Johnny Cash. We've got Carl Perkins. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Great. I mean, he influenced all these guys over there. And so many others. B.B. King, Howlin' Wolf, that recorded at Sun Records. Amazing. And that was today in 1954. All right, the first, and I think you can't say you've been to Memphis if you haven't gone to Beale Street. Beale Street is the main drag, la carretera principal. It is full of barbecue joints, sitios donde puedes comer comida hecha en la barbacoa, ahumada, smoked, barbecue. It is full of bars, but the most important part is they're not your average bars. Every single bar has live entertainment and mind-blowing. Like where you're like, you walk down the street. It's a musical street. It's called Beale Street. You might know it from the song, Walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off of Beale. Yo estaba flotando mientras andaba por la calle Beale Street. And you know where B.B. King got his name? The boy from Beale Street. What? Yeah. Guys, right now, I'm telling you, because you know I love music, my hair is standing on end thinking about how much happened in Memphis as a music lover, as a rock and roll lover. So you've got to go to Beale Street. Every single place is more interesting than the next. And I mean, it's amazing. My wife and I we were drinking beers, listening to blues, and, you know, that's when we were free. We didn't have Lara. We didn't know how free we were. Speaking of, the Civil Rights Museum, it's a must. It's where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. It was known as, and still known as also, the Lorraine Motel. The Lorraine Motel. It's now called the Civil Rights Museum / the Lorraine Motel. Then you've got Stax Soul, Stax Records. So wait, are you telling me that the birthplace of rock and roll and the birthplace of soul music is the same city? Memphis. And guys, when I say city, if you've been to New York, you can't even begin to compare it to Memphis. Memphis is a little town. But I'm not talking about the population here. I'm talking about the amount of amazing things that have happened in this city. So that's the birthplace of soul music. One of my favorite stories was they were recording some stuff at Stax. I can't remember what artists, but Stax viene de pilas de vinilos. Stax, lo ponen con X en vez de CKS. Stax Records. And they were thinking, all right, they were trying to come up with songs. They were jamming. And one guy took a break and he went to the bathroom. And then the guy in the studio said, "Hey, man, are you coming back today? ¿Vuelves hoy?" And he goes, "Hold on, I'm coming." Guess what? The name of their next song was, "Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on." It's an amazing song, pero viene de espera que estoy terminando en el baño. So many amazing stories. As we say, if these walls could talk, si pudiesen hablar, estas palabras lo que contarían. The next one is the Peabody Ducks. The Peabody is a famous hotel in Memphis. Again, another place where if the walls could talk, man. And the Peabody Ducks, well, the Peabody's the hotel, okay? It was constructed in 1925. And every morning around 11 a.m., the ducks that live on the roof, you heard me right, los patos que viven en la azotea, they get a walk. And they get to walk down to the fountain where they can swim around the fountain. I'm talking about the fountain in the lobby, en recepción. It's a beautiful hotel. And it's a free thing. Okay, obviously, if you're a guest of the hotel, you get there earlier and you can get a good spot. But it's amazing because a guy comes with a tuxedo with tails, parece un pingüino, a top hat, una chistera, a cane, and a vest, un chaleco. And he walks the ducks. They literally come down from the roof, de la azotea, in the elevator. The elevator doors open. They're trained. Ellos saben. Okay, guys, let's go. They get in the fountain. They swim around. They have a great time. And then they go back up to their home on the roof. It is a Memphis institution, the Peabody Ducks. And last but not least, of course, how could we not talk about Graceland? Now, let me tell you something. That's a good trick question. Where was Elvis born? Where was Elvis born? He was not born in Memphis. He got famous in Memphis. He was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo, my wife calls it. Tupelo, Mississippi. And don't forget, guys, we've got an episode on Elvis of FYI.
His hips are highly hypnotic. His riffs are truly timeless. And his voice is lively and full of feeling. Ultimately, his untimely death at 42 cemented his stratospheric skyrocket to stardom for centuries to come. For we can't help falling in love with him. Almost everyone can agree there haven't been quite as many artists as electrifying and eternal as Elvis. Well, we'll come to know this iconic king on this week's episode of FYI.
There you go, folks. That's right. If you want to learn more about this awesome icon, Elvis, you'll have to give it a listen. All right, I think we've got time before our commercial break to do today's, what is it called? Oh, yeah, double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. All right, I think this is a really easy one today. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. We'll find out. I usually know by how many people participate and how long it takes you to figure it out. Here's today's double trouble. El grupo me pidió que les cogiera unas gomas elásticas. So, el grupo me pidió que les cogiera unas gomas elásticas. All right, there you go, folks. That is your double trouble. We'll take a look at that after the commercial break. Plus, as I said, a few of you have already gotten today's Say What soundbite, which is awesome. And I know a few more people are going to get it. Plus, we've got jokes, famous birthdays. Name that lyric, of course. So much to do here on the show with no name. I hope you guys are having fun. By the looks of it, apúntate, esta es muy buena. By the looks of it, al parecer, by the looks of it, you guys are having a blast. I know I am. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. Don't forget to join us at our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night this evening at 8:30 p.m. at Roll Madrid, hosted by the one and only Guy Williams. Consider it a farewell party. Although, I have a hunch, tengo una corazonada, I have a hunch he's going to continue to host the trivia nights. He's just not going to host Western civilization. Kudos, Guy. You deserve it. All right. I see we've got a lot of people commenting here in our virtual classroom. Chris says, we need another life to see all the cool things in the States. No doubt. She says, we're caught in a trap. I can't walk out. You're getting me going. All right. I see we've got a lot of people participating in our double trouble over here. Let's see how you guys did in the double trouble challenge. I think it's an easy one, but we'll see in just a moment. El grupo me pidió que les cogiera unas gomas elásticas. All right, you can say the group, but that's not the one we're looking for. All right, let's see. Let's see if you guys figured it out. Laura, there's Laura. She's taking a stab at it. And Laura says, the band asked me to get them some elastic bands. Laura, you are on fire. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. All right, let's see. Leo, the band asked me to pick some elastic bands for them. Uy, just a little adjustment there, Leo, to pick up. Pero me gusta que has ido a por el, no por el to get es buenísimo también, Laura. Pero me gusta que estamos viendo diferentes formas de decirlo. So the band asked me to pick up some elastic bands for them. All right. Cogerles. Let's see. Kubla says, the band asked me to get some rubber bands. Absolutely. Elastic bands, rubber bands. Chris Valrol. Also, nice job. And Chris, stop trying to put more Elvis songs in my head. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Now, don't learn grammar from Elvis. But yes, amigos, the band asked me to get them some rubber bands. Easy, I think. And by the looks of it, it was easy for you guys, my show with no namers. Yeah. Also, I always laugh at the double meaning of hair bands. Hair bands are gomas de pelo. So my daughter always loses her hair bands. And 2 weeks ago, I saw two of my favorite hair bands. What? Well, hairband, goma elástica. And a hairband son los grupos de los 80s que se maquillaban y tenían el pelo así, así, right? They teased their hair. They used more hairspray than anything else. We call those hair bands. I always laugh at that double meaning. All right, folks, we've got to listen to our Say What soundbite. This is the fourth and final listen, amigos. So please write down what you hear.
Dr. Krakauer? Hi, yes. Thanks for calling me back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. That's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue, right. Okay. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go, amigos. I imagine a few other people will be getting it as well. All right, well, let's take a look then. What's next? We've got so much to do here on the show. So let's kick off with one section that I know you guys love. In fact, I know you guys are always teasing me. Mira, ahí está esa palabra otra vez. So to tease your hair es ponerle mucho spray y que parezca más grande de lo que es. Te lo explico como sé explicarlo. Right? To make your hair look very like big haired, right? It was a very big 80s look. That and the perm, permanente, right? The perm. And what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying there. 80s hair. Tease. That's right. So to tease your hair, and also to tease is to vacilar. So don't tease me because I had teased hair in my yearbook picture. No te metas conmigo, no me vaciles porque he tenido el pelo así ochentero en la foto de mi libro del cole. I could have chosen a shorter sentence, you know. All right, well, let's see if you guys get these jokes. I think it's a great thing, but I've been getting some feedback. Some people are telling me, Alberto, one of my favorite sections on the show is the joke section. So, hey, that's cool. And some people say double trouble. The good thing is, I think different strokes for different folks. Cada uno le gusta lo que le gusta, you know? Para gustos los colores. All right, so my amigos, as always, the jokes are usually revolve around a certain topic. And today, we're going to be looking at some mafia jokes. So if you guys don't participate, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. And if you remember, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I released an FYI episode on the mafia. Remember, we've also got episodes, and they're both available on The Sopranos.
There are things in life that are truly game changers. They mark a turning point, raise the stakes, and rewrite the rules, all while staying true to themselves. This spectacular show, based on the intimate intricacies of family, really struck a chord with its countless followers. Forget about it. I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse as we dissect The Sopranos on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to...
That's right, folks. Sopranos, I just shared both episodes because, as I said, if you're in my community, you get a second episode every week. If not, be really patient, and within a year or so, you'll get access to the second episode. And usually, I got to be honest, I save a lot of the English lessons for the second part. So if we're looking at The Sopranos, in the first part, we do the history, we talk about the characters, fun facts, things like that. And in the second part is where I teach you the lingo, no? La jerga and all of that. So check it out. The good thing is both of these are available. Let's take a look at our mafia jokes, or mob, as we said, the mafia or the mob. Did you guys hear the one about the guy who got his tongue cut out by the mafia? Yeah. So did you hear the one about, esto es una buena forma de empezar un chiste. ¿Conoces la de tal? Did you hear the one about the guy who got his tongue cut out by the mafia? Oh yeah, they do that a lot, you know. Well, never mind. It's a tasteless joke. No? Did you hear the one about the guy who got his tongue cut out by the mafia? Never mind. It's a tasteless joke. Okay. Well, tongue. Usually if you're a rat, un soplón, right? If you're a rat or a snitch, puedes oír todo este vocabulario in the mafia episode. If you're a rat or a snitch, one thing they do to punish you before they kill you and torture you is to cut out your tongue, right? So you'll never speak again, right? But what happens if they cut out your tongue? Well, they're also cutting out your taste buds. And your taste buds, gusto, papilate, I always forget that word. The things on your tongue that absorb the taste, that make you be able to taste, all right? So I said, never mind, olvídalo. It's a tasteless joke. Tasteless joke también es de mal gusto. So tasteless is something that doesn't have any taste. And obviously, if you don't have a tongue, you can't taste anything. And also tasteless is de mal. Come on, Alberto. You don't want it. That was a sexist joke. That was tasteless. No te faltaba ese toque de elegancia, ese, ese buen gusto. So tasteless. All right, my amigos, I've got another one for you. Yeah. Did you hear about the mafia goon who cleaned mansions? Oh, yeah. A goon is un matón. Remember, all this is in the mafia episode. Okay. So did you hear the one about the mafia goon who cleaned mansions? Que limpiaba mansiones? Yeah. Well, he was a made man. Oh, no, I didn't. He was a made man. No. He was a made man. No. A made man? All right, well, a made man, I guess you should know, is somebody who's in the mafia. He's a made man. Le han hecho parte de la asociación. It means you're in the Cosa Nostra. You're a part of the club. You're a made man, a mobster, a gangster. You're accepted. A made man. Okay? So, M-A-D-E, como hecho, which is different than a self-made person. Alguien que se ha hecho por sí mismo. Right? We would say he's a made man. Don't mess with him. No te metas con él. And also a made man, M-A-I-D, a made man. Sorry, I got some ants over here who decided to stop by my studio. Tengo unas hormigas. And it's not trancas y barrancas. Fits and starts, como se dice en inglés. Maid. Empleada doméstica, trabajadora doméstica, sirvienta, criada, muchacha. So, do you get it now? So, did you hear about the mafia goon who cleaned mansions? He was a made man. All right. One more. Only because you love my jokes. What's the mafia's favorite game? Okay, what's the mafia's favorite game? Okay. Mafia's favorite game is whack-a-mole. No. Whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole. Kubla, thanks for the facts, but I want them to listen to the episode. Thank you. Thank you for giving us some mafia fun facts. But remember, as I said, it's all in the mafia's episode. You'll get all this information. So what's the mafia's favorite game? Whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole. Do you get it? All right. Well, a mole es un topo, right? Somebody who's infiltrated an organization. Okay. And no, Kubla, it's not whack-a-mole. Lo explico. Okay, so it's whack-a-mole. Do you know this game that you have like this little hammer, but it's not really a hammer. It's got like a cushion around it. And a mole, un topo sale, es de toda la vida. And you whack it, le golpeas, le das. It's called whack-a-mole. No, Kubla, it's not guacamole. Let me explain it. You obviously didn't get it. It went over your head. Let me explain it, because if not, I just keep reading your comments. Okay, so whack-a-mole. Focus, Alberto. Focus. Whack-a-mole. The game where you whack a mole. Okay, great. Also, whack-a-mole is something that means juego infantil, inútil. Why are we doing this whack-a-mole? I don't want to play whack-a-mole with you. No quiero estar aquí, pasando. It says a futile effort. So we've got whack-a-mole, the game. We've got whack-a-mole, the futile effort. And then to whack in the mafia means to kill. So if you got whacked, guess what? Speaking of, Paul Castellano got whacked in front of Sparks Steakhouse. Kubla, if you want to go fact for fact, which is directly connected to that, right? Paul Castellano was whacked. Fue matado. No tiene que ser disparado. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So whack-a-mole is matar a un infiltrado, a un topo. So wow, there you go, folks. You've got your jokes. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you're ready to celebrate too, because it's time for famous birthday trivia. That's right. That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And folks, the first person was born today in 1943. He is best known for his work with the band. We looked at the word band before. The band, si se llama El Grupo. And why? Well, the band, I mean, we're talking about Bob Dylan. We're talking about this guy. We're talking about Garth Hudson, Levon Helm, Rick Danko. We're talking about some of the greatest performers ever. Before super groups were a thing, these guys were them. And so this guy ya estoy matando gente. Maybe I'm in the mafia. This guy's a Canadian singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer, and actor, and best known as the lead guitarist and songwriter for the band. You guys know the band? Take a load off Annie. Take a load for free. Take a load off Annie. And now you put the load right on me. Great song. Also, they've got Broken Arrow, Somewhere Down the Crazy River. And Martin Scorsese has an excellent documentary about this. And it's called The Last Waltz. Okay? The Last Waltz. And you'll hear the band's music in a lot of Martin Scorsese films. Oh, and it brings us right back to, I said, Route 61, Highway 61, the Blues Highway. It's a Bob Dylan album. Bob Dylan's in the band. It was called for a period, Bob Dylan and the Band. So there you go. This guy was another pobrecillo. Next up, another musician, singer, songwriter, and keyboard player. He's kind of a one-hit wonder. Okay, solo ha sacado una que realmente se hizo famosa. Now, it got really, really famous. He won the Grammy Award, the highest award in music, for Best New Artist in 1992. I remember it. The song's beautiful. Now, this guy was born in Cleveland, Ohio, but his signature song is Walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off of Beale. You know it. We looked at it before, Beale Street. So yeah, that's that guy. What a beautiful song. And when I was listening to that song, driving around Memphis, I had tears in my eyes. So just to show you how much music means to me. And today we've had quite a musical show, haven't we? All right, last but certainly not least, an American actress who was born today in 1963. She's best known for portraying Carmela Soprano on The Sopranos. She's also Nurse Jackie Payton on the show Nurse Jackie. She was in the prison drama Oz as well, where she played Diane Whittlesey. All right. All right, let's take a look. We've got a winner. Give it up for Kubla. Number 1, Robbie Robertson. Number 2, Mark Cohn. And number 3, Edie Falco. And that's going to bring us right up to today's Say What soundbite. This was Edie Falco as Carmela Soprano in The Sopranos. And she knows that her husband's going to a shrink, and now she's calling a psychiatrist for the first time to get help. And Tony catches her. So it's her calling a psychiatrist, and Tony says, who are you talking to? But she wanted to keep it on the DL, on the down low, a escondidas. So she says, Dr. Krakauer. She's got this very New York accent, New Jersey. Dr. Krakauer. Hi, yes. Thanks for calling me back. Cool. I want you to listen. Thanks for calling me back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Right? Would you be able to come in next week? She probably said. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue. La Avenida Grove, que es a grove, an orange grove, donde hay muchos árboles. Grove Avenue. All right. Okay. Then she sees Tony out of the corner of her eye, and she goes, I gotta go. Bye-bye. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Edie Falco.
Dr. Krakauer? Hi, yes. Thanks for calling me back. I was referred by a Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Yes, I would. Anytime that's good for you. That's great. That's fine. Grove Avenue, right. Okay. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, and we've got to go, but not before we do Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric, and a nice round of applause to all my show with no namers for kicking butt. Not just today, every single day. I am extremely proud of you. Seriously, I'm your teacher. If I'm proud of you, you should be proud of yourselves. Keep up the great work. Keep up the excellent work. And the most important part is not just that you're learning English, you're fucking having fun. Lo estáis pasando bien, cojones. Sorry, es que tenía que ponerle eso ahí, ese énfasis. You're having fun. You found the secret to enrich yourself every day and enjoy the process. And I envy that. I mean, I'm one of those people too, but it's something I've always wanted for myself, for my family, for my daughter, right? To enjoy the ride, disfrutar del camino. And I know you guys are enjoying our ride to wherever we go, whether it's on a car trip or if we're off to Memphis, Tennessee, or Tupelo, which does not have an airport. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with today's Name That Lyric. I'll give you the name of the song. It's Forever Young, Forever Young. It's not the Rod Stewart version, although that's a really good one, but it's the original, the band, and the song is called Forever Young. Look up the lyrics with me, and this way you guys can follow along. Podéis seguirlo conmigo. And he starts off by saying, may God bless and keep you always. Que Dios te bendiga y que te cuide siempre. And keep you always. May your wishes all come true. Os lo deseo a todos vosotros. Que todos tus sueños se cumplan. May you always do for others. Que siempre hagas para los demás. And let others do for you. Y dejar que lo hagan también para ti. May you build a ladder to the stars. Que construyas una escalera hacia las estrellas. And climb on every rung. Y pillas cada escalera. The rung es cada escalera individual. May you stay forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. And even though we might not be able to do it in age, we can stay forever young mentally. Thank you so much, amigos. It's been an absolute pleasure.